Hey there, Streakers. Hopefully you have had a wonderful week. I am looking forward to talking with you today. This is Jeff Downs, and this is the Streaking Podcast. Today, we're going to get into the word just, J-U-S-T. It's the four-letter word that, yes, it has meanings that, well, let's put it this way, make everyone feel like just a piece of garbage. So we're going to talk about just, what it is, the lively debate that Jamie and I had about it. So, with that, let's get streaking. What is streaking and why should you do it?
Streaking is how you set up personal winning streaks. Look at who you want to be and what you need to do to become that person. This is streaking.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jamie.
And we are streakers. Through 30 years of marriage and 7 children, we have learned the power of consecutive consistency or streaking.
To start streaking is simple. You just follow these 3 laws. Make it laughably simple, keep a record, and join the streaking community.
Streaking is your hidden superpower. With it, you will consistently progress and grow in whatever area of life you want.
In this podcast, Jeff and I will share all the fun, exciting, serious, solemn, wonderful parts of family, spiritual, professional, and personal life, and how streaking powers it all.
So join us in the conversation, join the movement, and start streaking today. Well, Streakers, I'm excited to talk to you about a conversation that Jamie and I had. My co-host is not with me today, but she'll join us, I'm sure she will, on another podcast. The conversation that we had today, and the one that I want to talk with you about, is in regards to the word just, J-U-S-T. Now, it has several different definitions in the dictionary, which Jamie will point out, and it is something that, used in the right context, is not necessarily a bad word. However, 95 to 99% of the time, it's used in the context, which basically diminishes any achievement that you've gone for. When you use the word just, it does something to basically say you're not enough. How did this come about? Jamie and I were out on our run today, our streaking run. Today was actually one. Our streak is to walk or run at least 1 mile every day, 6 days a week. And we've been doing that for 8 years. Today, we were running along and we have decided that we're going to train for a marathon. The marathon happens in June. Therefore, we're on a marathon training schedule. Today's training run was 3 miles. The pace that we are running is 11 minutes per mile. Now, if you are any kind of a runner that is professional at any level, or even more than, let's say, a casual runner, you know that 11 mile pace is a pace that is slower than any of those paces. As Jamie and I were talking, we're on the second half of the run, and she and I were talking about training for the marathon, and I said, yep, we're training for it, and who knows, but that we'll be able to, as we were talking about training for it, sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. I said to her, I'm really excited that we're training for a marathon and we've got our 11-mile pace. I actually told her that we could slow it down because we were going a little bit fast. And she said, yeah, we're just doing an 11-mile pace. And I paused right there and I said, no, we're doing an 11-mile pace. And she and I got into a conversation about the word just and why any one of us use it. Why we use it to say, I just did this. Or let's put it in the context of streaking, I just read a verse, or I just wrote a sentence, or I just read a paragraph in a book. I just, I just invited one contact. Any of those things, you use the word just. Now, why? What is it about it that we're using? And I want you to think about this as you consider what your streaks are and how you're doing them. When we use the word just, we diminish what it is, the activity, we diminish the activity that we're doing. When I use the word just, basically what I'm saying is it's not enough. I haven't performed it enough, I'm not doing it enough, and I need to do it better. I need to do more of it in order for it to count. Another thing that it is it's comparison. I'm comparing myself to my future self, my past self, whatever. It's a comparison to those people who may or may not exist. It's also a comparison maybe to others who you consider either better than you, more advanced than you, more intelligent than you, in any other way greater than you. The word just is not one that you should use when streaking. Jamie asked me as we started to get into the conversation because she started to talk about the definitions of just that are good definitions, such as you look at the word a just cause. When used in the justice of something, a just cause can indicate something that's positive, something that you want to do or have pursued with vigor in a good and positive way. When we use it, though, to describe our activity in the word just, I just did this much, that's when it's diminishing yourself, and I am passionate, highly passionate, that we do not diminish ourselves or our activity. That actually you give yourself credit and allow yourself to have success. You didn't just make the bed, you made the bed. You didn't just run a mile or walk a mile, you ran a mile or walked a mile. You didn't just read a sentence, you read a sentence. You read a paragraph. You actually did the activity. And when you do that activity, you are successful. I got pretty passionate about this, and there's times when I get passionate that I get direct and candid. And Jamie asked me, she said, why do you get so passionate about this? It really evokes a lot of emotion. And I asked her, well, can you help me be more persuasive? Because let me tell you the reason why I get passionate about it. When anyone at all diminishes themselves in the work that they're doing, that work being small, or let's put it this way, low intensity or high intensity, no matter what, it's work. And when any one of you are being consistent with that work, no matter what the work is, you're being consistent with it, you deserve credit. There's some who are out there who say, oh, this is such a fluffy generation. They want participation medals. That's not it at all. And I reject that wholeheartedly. You are a fantastic individual with opportunity and potential galore. What streaking is the floor of your success. And therefore, what you do is set up small, laughably small activities that you do consistently. Tonight, we went to Chance's ballroom competition. He did fantastic. Placed in gold and was also received the award of the most dedicated ballroom dancer, which we were excited about. It was fantastic. We had so much fun. I was talking with an individual, introduced myself, and he and I, first time that we had met, our Chance danced with his daughter, and it was a lot of fun. He and I started to talk about, as the conversation often goes, to streaking. We talked about how streaking is all about the laughably small wins that you have through time, and that all of those compound into awesome, amazing rewards. When you have that compounding effect, when you move forward with that compounding effect from the small inputs, the small deposits that are made, sometime in the future, you see a breakthrough. You don't know when it is or how it will be, but you get a breakthrough. As we were talking, one of the things that he said, which I wanted to repeat here, and I told him every time I'd use it, I'd pay him $0.25, which means hopefully we'll use it quite a bit. That he said, it sounds to me like rather than intensity, you focus on frequency in the sense that you're doing it every day. And rather than doing something big, grand, bold, you're doing something that is confident and the floor of your success. It is that you are focused on the everyday activity. We said, yes, that's exactly right. It's not about the intensity. Will there be times where you're more intense? Sure. However, that intensity can only come about if, and only if, you have a floor of success. Because if you do it without the floor of success, and maybe I overstate just a little bit as far as you can decide to be intense, and you can be intense about something for a couple of hours, but the gains it will get you are nowhere near the compound interest which you will earn through the laughably small activities that you do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis, consistently, not ever giving up on them, making sure that every single day you read at least one paragraph, you write at least one sentence, you read at least one verse of scripture, you connect, you invite one person to connect. Doing all of those things start to build up through time. And when that builds up and the compound interest starts to take continuous effect, you now know and understand exactly how it is that a laughably simple thing can and does and will help you to become who you want to be. You're not just doing something. You are doing something. After all, when you look at it, in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if you decided not to do the laughably small thing, where would you be? That 10 years is still going to go by, no matter what. What then I would challenge you and invite you to do is to look at what you're deciding, who you're deciding to be, and decide now to start your laughably small streak, 1 or 2, and keep it alive for at least 100 days. Once you've done it 100 days, now you can move on to other streaks and start to build on that continuous, consecutive muscle that you have now exercised and can rest on to do other things. There's a lot of people, when I look in the streaking app, that are starting their streaks right now. Some of them go for intensity. And in almost every case, I would suggest to you, and the hypothesis is this, that those who go for intensity do not have the longevity. And the longevity is the more important part of streaking. Because if you get the longevity going, if you get the everyday muscle going, then you'll be able to have intensity through time, which will pay off in spades. I promise you that. It has for me, and it has for thousands of streakers. If you're just getting started, start with the laughably small and challenge yourself to keep it alive for 60, 90, 100 days. When you keep it alive that long, you'll start to celebrate that success. In fact, we'll see it in the streaking app. There was one of the users in the streaking app who said, 20 days. I just celebrated the 20th day in a row that I've done this streak. And they were so ecstatic because they said, not at any time have I ever done this 20 days in a row. When you start tracking that number and you have something that's laughably small that really does bring success to your life, you celebrate it. Which brings us back to the word just. You're not just doing a laughably small thing. You're doing something that's critically important to becoming who you want to be. And whatever size that activity is, whatever intensity you decide it to be, it will produce results if you do it every day, which is why the floor of your success is always something that is laughably simple. Exit the word just out of your life. Don't ever use it again. Okay, you can use it in a correct context, but don't use it in the context of the activity that you're doing, because that activity is critical and important, and it's amazing that you are doing it. The word just get rid of it. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Jeff Downs. This is The Streaking Show, the Streaking Podcast. If you want to learn more about streaking, order the book from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or wherever books are sold. If you really want to get and see and know and understand what streaking is, download the Streaking app at the Apple App Store or at Google Play. It's Streaking, Streaking, Streaking. That's what you'll need to download. That's where you can sign in, register, and start to see what other people are doing to streak. We have suggested streaks, popular streaks that are all, as you look at them, suggestions of the laughably simple that you then can build and adopt and go forward. Hey, one other thing. There is a subscription to the Streaking app. It's when you try to enter your 4th streak that it will ask you for a subscription. I want to explain why. We had a lot of debate over this inside of Jamie and I did, as well as many of the founders, Talon and Dave and Laurel and another Dave and Austin. We debated long and hard about if we should put a paywall in or if we should allow people to have unlimited streaks. What we decided was to put in, as you'll see, the paywall at 3 streaks. And let me tell you why. When you get excited about the Streaking app, you're going to want to sign up for 15, 20, 50 streaks. That's as good as signing up for the highest intensity thing that you can possibly do, which means ultimately, because the consecutive muscle has not been exercised, you will not have the success that you envisioned. So what we did is put in a paywall to slow you down and to think about intentionally, deliberately, what streaks you want to do up front so that through 100 days you can get there. Now, you may say to me, well, Jeff, wait a second. At 100 days, if I'm ready to have more streaks, I want to. Well, guess what? We're going to provide a way for you to be able to do that. We're going to provide a way for you to not have to pay one dime to get unlimited streaks. The first way that we're going to do that is by giving you the opportunity to invite 10 of your friends to come onto the Streaking app. If 10 of your friends, family, neighbors, acquaintances, whomever, accept the invitation to get into the Streaking app, if they accept the invitation, they got to accept it. They got to get in and register. If they do, we're then going to give you unlimited streaks. Okay? That's number one. Number two, sometime in 2024, right now we're working on it, experience points. As you streak and get experience points, you will, with those experience points, be able to unlock unlimited streaks. You'll also, as we go along, be able to unlock other things within the app. This is all in development, but that does not prevent you from starting your streak and keeping it alive right now. All 3 streaks, and know that there will be a point in the future where you, without spending a dime or a penny, can unlock unlimited streaks. That will be out there. So, with that being said, download the Streaking app, start streaking today, and until we talk again, would you mind rating the app? Would you mind going out and just giving it a rating? We'd appreciate that. And here's the reason why. Again, we want to get the Streaking app in the hands of as many people as possible because it will help them become who they want to be. It gives them that tool to become who they want to be. So if you wouldn't mind, just a small invitation, rate the app, rate the book. It gives people an opportunity to find it. If there's no ratings on it, which there are, there's a lot of ratings out there on there. However, the more that it's rated, the better the opportunity is that other people will find it. Until we talk again, keep streaking.